Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I'm an astrologer who helps entrepreneurs pace themselves to 10x their business by knowing what to do and when to do it in just 2 weeks. Welcome to the June 5th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about sowing the seeds of your growth until mid-June. And while growth doesn't actually start until mid-July, that just means you'll have some time to prepare. Listen to our conversation so you'll know what to do day by day, and I'll see you on the other side. Good morning, everyone. Krista, so great to see you.
Nice to be here. I'll be back.
I love your background. That is beautiful. Nicely done. So, wow, here we are, and June already, and what a journey it has been this year. And hopefully, like, you're feeling that transition of like where you were in mid-March and what was going on. You were trying so hard to like get this thing in your head straight, and it took a little time, but things have shifted, and they're shifting again. And um, and now it's like we're not quite there, but we're getting ready for summer camp, and we're starting to pack up the stuff that we're going to take with us to summer camp so that we can have a fantastic time. And hopefully you are all starting to feel that energy of, okay, I can see that there's going to be some expansion, some growth. I'm going to learn some things, and I have no idea how it's all going to unfold, but I'm all in, and I'm going to check it all out and see what's in store for me. So, any questions before we get started? We are at this kind of tipping point where we're releasing all the spring stuff and really getting ready and planting the seeds, actively planting the seeds for our growth. And feedback is coming in to tell us that we are on the right track. Anyone like seeing that show up in their lives? Okay. All right. Well, great. And sometimes you just need a little nudge to say, go look for it. And now hopefully, you will do some of the things that you think, oh, maybe I'll push the send button on this. Maybe I'll pick up the phone and call this person. And you might be able to have the conversation, the feedback, the response, the information that you need. Okay, let's get going. Here we are on June 5th. And where are we right now as things are moving? So we are still in the midst of planting our seeds for growth. So what does that mean? So the Jupiter portal is going to happen in Gemini. And Jupiter, as you can see, you can't actually see it because there's all these things crowded in here, but it is in Gemini right now. And it's going to move between 11 and 21 degrees. So forward, then backward, then forward. And that's what helps us emphasize and know where our growth will be for 9 months. But all of these planets are marching through that. And so these are the hints of what we can do so that when Jupiter gets there, like the foundation, the soil is primed. That's not the right terminology, but you understand that like all the work you're doing right now is so that when Jupiter actually gets there, things will start to open up. And so keep going with that. We have until mid-June, and we'll talk about some of those things today. We are also wrapping up our dream team selections. So our dream team are those people on a day-to-day basis that we can get on the same page with quickly. Like there's no having to explain ourselves. They can be the people we work with. They might be the people we serve. They might be the people we do drop-offs with for our kids, or are doing like the whole camp thing with this summer. But think about that. And you have until the end of June to say, if someone just feels so heavy to have around you, to say, you know what, let's just take a break for a few months and see what happens and see what it is like to not be in that same space and see how it feels for you, for both of you, because chances are it is happening on both sides. So take that time. And then also at the same time, we are settling into this new person that we are. And that shift began on April 20th or so. We got to see it show up in some of the things we were doing, some of the things we recognize what is going to happen to us this year, and the things that we're going to have to do differently, and having to think about that and maybe discuss what the new us is doing and speak like the new us and think like the new us. And when we start to do that, it actually starts to become natural because you know you're going to get there anyway. And it's going to take a year. So you've got space. But the sooner we start to like take those baby steps, the sooner we can feel more comfortable in that skin and that body of that new person who will be in a year. So here we are on June 5th, and today is the day that Mars leaves that Mercury portal. So it's almost like if you were pushing to, with excitement, to get your message out there, get your big idea out there, it leaves today. And that is totally fine. I have to tell you, I encountered a lot of resistance. I had so many ideas on how I was going to like put my heart into it, and they did not pan out. But what I did get in that resistance was information that I need to have in order to work on things for the next several months, like we'll say 9 months. And then when I come out the other side next spring, it's like, I will be totally ready. I will have the information I need. I will know how to speak to it. And I will be like more comfortable talking about all the details of it, and all the objections aren't quite the right word, but how to explain why this is so important. And so enough information is coming in right now. You're setting that stage for your growth so that you can come back and revisit this next year. Then on the 8th, Mercury enters the Jupiter portal. So Mercury, the sun is still going through. Venus crossed over the sun, going through it, right? And giving us feedback. When Mercury goes in, it will be about thinking about the growth. So it's like you've done all these things, you've gotten some feedback. How does it all fit together? Like, what am I going to do with that? It could be, what opportunities do I see that feel hopeful? This is a great time to talk to people about the information you've gotten, get good counsel, talk to your dream team if they are part of that growth, or they are having their growth alongside you. And what do we do with all this info, all these ideas that have come in? And it will be a few days where it's in, and in a condensed way, you'll get to talk about it. But this is kind of how all these things come together. Then on the 9th, Venus leaves the portal. And on the 11th, the sun leaves the portal. And meanwhile, Mercury's still in there, having you think about all the information that has come in. And then Mercury leaves the portal. So this is a powerful time for just noticing what is going on. And the seeds are planted at this point. Here we are. This will be mid-June. So within a little over a week, you will have the sense of, okay, I've got a few things where I've got some things going, and the door to actually have them work and actually feel like I'm getting going on all of that doesn't open until July. So what do you do in the month? It's like, oh, I'm heading off to camp. Um, but I've got a month to prepare and get things ready. Maybe, part of camp is going to be learning how to, uh, if you were doing CIT training, for example, and you knew that part of the test is being able to swim to a certain point. My daughter did this. It's like, okay, I've got a month to like really get my swimming skills back up to speed so that when I'm out there, I can get myself on the road to passing that test. So things like that. What is it that I need to do to be able to make the most of my growth? Then on the 14th, Mercury crosses over the sun. Busy day, a great day to leave open for meetings, talking. It'll be busy. Do not put a big to-do list on your day. Like if yesterday you could not get anything done and it was just a day to gab or write in your journal and talk to people, it's kind of that very similar energy of I'm just going to leave this all open and I'm going to see what conversations come up and go with that or just write in my journal. But when you see that it's at 24 degrees, it's outside that portal. It's almost like you're thinking ahead to, wow, if we do these things now in a year or, next year's thing will include this. It's like thinking ahead to what is the place we could be at. And one more comment. When the sun is going to end up, you can see it here, behind Venus ahead, Mercury ahead. So there is stuff coming in and stuff that you're thinking that there is a lag in being able to execute on it. This is a time for gentleness with yourself. If you think I can't keep up with everything that is coming in and all the ideas I have, you are absolutely right. You won't be able to. So it's always about choosing, like, what's the most important thing to focus on? Pick 2 or 3 and then you're good, and just keep track of all the things that are coming in. They might be ideas for later, that's fine, but not being able to keep up will be a natural feeling that you have, and that will be okay. Then on the 16th, Mars enters last year's Jupiter portal from 5.5 to 15.5 degrees of Taurus. And this is this last reminder of how far you've come. There is possibly excitement that you have these tools and you get to apply them, but there also you may feel, oh gosh, some frustration that, oh, if I just knew how to do this better, if I were just better at this now, like I thought by now I would have this down. This might be some of the energy that you are feeling. So just be ready for that. And as you have that excitement and frustration, you're also getting a little more information on what it is that you can grow for yourself in the summer. And there will be 2 weeks of that until the end of June, where Mars is going through that portal. On the 17th, Mercury will cross over Venus in Cancer. This is a great day to follow your instincts. So Cancer is beyond logic. That energy of tapping into your instincts, something you can't explain. And at a 0.5 degree, it's like it hits you in a second. It is so fast. It's like there's no buildup to it. It's just bam, it's there. And so speaking from your instincts and getting quick validation might be the thing that is going on that day. And if you surround yourself with the right people, It's a great way to start to see doors that might be opening or ways to go or thinking ahead. So we have a couple more days, but not as much happening. And we'll meet again on the 19th. So we go back. You can really tell that the energy is shifting from where we were a couple weeks ago. And we were getting used to having these new wings, recognizing how far we'd come, but also recognizing, oh my God, there's so much more to do. And so now it's just like settling in and getting excited about what lies ahead. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to see where how the planets are moving between now and the 19th. All right. Any questions so far? I think we're good. All right. So over the next 2 weeks, this is the time to step back from pushing to bring things to people's attention. Mars leaves that portal today. And so it's more about processing ideas. This could be a very busy time for you where your mind is just filled. So much information is coming in. Remember, Mercury hasn't even gotten into the portal yet, but it will over these next 2 weeks. And somewhere in all of this are the seeds for your growth. So by looking inside yourself, noticing what feels like opportunity, what feels like growth, what feels like expansion between now and mid-June will help you know which things to focus on, because you won't be able to do all of them, but the right ones will pop out when you find that feeling of, oh, this can take me somewhere. This can lead to something. And you'll start to, during the second half of June and into July, get things ready and prep yourself for that growth. So today, Mars is leaving that Mercury portal. It's been in there since May 21st. And so just recognizing how you tried hard to get stuff out there, but how if you didn't get what you wanted, how it gave you the information you need to grow this summer, what to focus on. The sun on May 31st entered the Jupiter portal and is now marching through, leaves June 11th. So what are the things that you are doing? This is stuff like sending emails, posting on Instagram, having those conversations, writing in your journal, texting to whoever it is that might be helpful in terms of getting ideas. And honestly, someone who disagrees with you is probably one of the best people to give you some ideas. Venus moving through the portal is about getting feedback, enjoying the conversation, enjoying the ideas, receiving the ideas, and not necessarily enjoying, but getting validation. And also invitations to follow these ideas. Almost priming the pump for opportunity. Then with Mercury going into the portal, starting the 8th to the 13th, so about 6 days, how is your mind juggling all of the details and starting to put them together into a bigger picture of what your growth will be for 9 months, starting July 15th? Which ones feel like possibilities? Just choose 3 or so, and the rest will unfold from there. And on the 14th, Mercury will cross over the sun at 24 degrees Gemini. So it's a busy day, and you're thinking beyond the growth that you're going to have for 9 months. So if it feels like, oh, that's impossible, that I can't do that right now, that's great because it gives you a target to aim for next year. Then from the 16th to the 30th, with Mars going through last year's Jupiter portal, it's putting your heart into the tools. It's laying the groundwork for this year's growth. You doing everything you can to use the skills that you have built since last June to set a good stage for your growth. And finally, on the 17th, Mercury crosses over Venus. Listening to your instincts that day. You don't necessarily, in fact, I would encourage you and write down, I don't have to explain myself. I just know. And let's just see. Let's just try this. It's your instinct talking. There is no logic. That's okay. All right. So some tips to thrive. So let any frustration about getting your big idea in front of the right people, that will fade away. If you've been feeling that, if you were feeling that last week, oh my God, I was feeling it, like it already is starting to dissipate, and I don't feel that anymore. I just feel hopeful. And by attuning to those details that are coming in and making sure you've got a spot to gather them. If you've got one of my nightstand journals, this is the place to write all that stuff down. But find a spot where you're tracking all these ideas, because soon enough, with Venus and Mercury getting ahead of the sun, you will not be able to do anything about everything. And being gentle with yourself, because it will feel like you can't keep up with all the things that could be on your to-do list. So picking the most promising ones will help you just say, the rest of it is for later, and that will be fine. And we'll be using this next month to prepare for your growth. All right. And any questions so far? I'm gonna go to one more slide just because I have to say that if you knew this ahead of time, and the people that have been working with me, they've had this heads up since January that this growth wasn't coming until July. And if having this plan so you know what to do and when to do it could help you, just comment ready in the YouTube channel comments, and I will get back to you so I can show you how. All right. Would love to answer any questions, or love to hear how this is showing up for you. You could even do a little like coaching if you needed that, but that's why I'm here. Anyone?
I have a question.
Sure.
When we talk about this transition from having this idea and now with the changes that are happening today, does that mean we stop talking about our idea, or like what is that shift that's coming?
The shift is that it becomes this underlying inspiration for the details that are coming in. It's almost like you're building the foundation to be able to keep sharing that idea, but not forcing it. When I think about it for myself, my big thing was, the Mercury retrograde is not what you think. And that is something that is actually part of a bigger theme of when you look at this bigger picture, you can help, it's there to help you. And I'm filling in all the details to like convey that big general idea to people, but it still is a theme, and I'm talking to it, but in a different way. And it's like, we don't know what it will be like and what it will look like by the time we get to next spring, but there will be a fuller package that you have to offer. Not only that, there are like 4 transits going from Pisces to Aries next year, where the right people will be in the right room for you to have them hear what you have to say. But before you're ready to do that, if you had a group of 1,000 people right now, you would be maybe just not quite on your game. But by the time you get there through this growth, you'll have the tools, you'll have the communication skills, all of the details you need to speak to it next year. And that is sort of like, it's your driving force underneath, but you're filling all the foundation. Does that help?
Yes, I think so. So the purpose of speaking it was to kind of bring it to our attention to the people in our sphere, and then we're on to the next phase. So it's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But there's no reason why you can't attract people in to like talk about it and have them learn at the same time you're learning about this thing that you had. But like that is part of, you know, the growth for them with you as well. Like, we're learning this together. We're filling in those details. Great question.
It's hard for me to relate to this. Like I kind of see this playing out, but the stuff that I'm dealing with is stuff that has to happen on a much shorter timeline, deadline, to my mind. And if it doesn't, I'm nervous about that. I don't know what that means. Like I'm really trying to get some stuff finished by the 15th of June, and I don't see I have a chance to do it, and I think I have big repercussions if I don't.
So we are still in that place of getting the information, and the second half of June is about efforting with Mars moving through the Jupiter portal from last year. So it's possible that somehow you have that space to, this may be a time of more frustration than excitement. It's like, I can do this, but it's a big push or a big slog, and I just have to give all my energy to that during the second half of June. But I can see where maybe, you know, talking through, you may get the extension you need, or talk to the right person who can help you and move you through that process. But it's still all coming in, especially as Mercury moves through the portal starting on the 8th. I realize the time is ticking, but part of it is waiting to see how everything unfolds and making sure there's space to work with the information that comes in.
I feel like I've exhausted my reserves of resilience to keep on pushing through. Like I've needed this to be finished for so long.
And there's more info coming in. Pick the most important things. And I know that's a lot. Find your dream team. Find that dream team. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you for being here. And it's always great to see you guys and start getting ready for summer camp. I hope the rest of the information that comes in sets a wonderful stage for your growth this summer. I'm excited for summer camp to see what it all brings. All right. See you guys in 2 weeks. Bye. I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. Take in the details for a while and maintain short to-do lists until you can see the bigger picture. And if you want to learn how knowing all of this months in advance can help you regain momentum in your business, just comment "grow" below to find out more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.